How are you doing today? This is Saturday. Wow. It is Saturday, is the 9th of August 2025. And it's very early. It's 33 minutes past 5 in the morning where I am. And today we are going to talk about intentionality. I'm going to share some of my thoughts of what I have considered and learned in this area of intentionality, of being intentional with everything that we do, or live life with intentionality. What does it come to your mind when you think about this word? Intentionality. Becoming intentional in everything you do. What does it mean to live an intentional life, right? So I have my notes in front of me, so I'll pick my notes and I look at you. But this is a very important, very dear topic to me, and I definitely hope it is an important topic to you. So, in a nutshell, intentionality is being deliberate. When you are deliberate, when you are purposeful, your actions, your living, your planning, you are purposeful in what you do. It is the ability to direct your thoughts. It's the ability to direct your desires, your beliefs, your actions towards a specific goal or an outcome. That's being purposeful. That's being intentional. It is not just about having good intentions, but it's about following them through with clarity, with focus and action. So it's definitely connected to discipline. There is this old saying, you probably heard that before: the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So good intentions does not guarantee good results, right? Without intentionality, our lives can drift into randomness and distractions, and we miss opportunities. And we start living by chance, hoping for good luck. We hope for opportunities instead of creating the opportunities. So being intentional is actually creating your opportunities, positioning yourself in a place where opportunities come. In reality, you are creating them. So the power of intentionality. So why intentionality matters? Why is it important? Well, intentionality acts like a filter in your life. You know what a filter does? If you think about water filters, water goes through and all the impurity, all the things that shouldn't go through, just the pure drinkable water at the end. So intentionality acts like that. Baby Badass, hi, hey, good to have you here. Welcome to the live. Welcome everyone. If you just joined, great to have you here. We're talking about intentionality today. So why intentionality matters? So intentionality works like a filter. What you add to your life, perhaps actions and things that you need to add to your schedule, the people that you need to connect with, because you know that what they have will help you to achieve the goals. Perhaps they're going the same directions that you are. And intentionality helps you to know what to remove from your life. What are the things that you need to take away from your schedule? What are the people that you need to disconnect? What are the practice, the habits that you need to take or stop doing it? Intentionality helps you to as I said, connect with the right people. Who are the people that you need to welcome into your life? And which baggage, bad thinking you need to let go. When you live intentionally, you lead your life. So instead of letting life carry you, so you're just there, going to work, going to school, going to study, come back, hang out with friends, in life passing by days, week by week, day by day, years and years. Perhaps 5 years ago you had a great idea, great thoughts and plans that you want to achieve, but nothing has taken place, nothing has been materialized because you were not being intentional. Or you thought in the beginning of the year, this year I'm going to be fit, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to start running, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm actually going to use that gym subscription that I've done, but you haven't been intentional. So 8 months has passed, we're going towards the mid of August, the 8th month, and you haven't been intentional with your perhaps New Year's resolutions that you had back in January. Why these things happen, why we don't follow through, it's because we're not being intentional enough in what we do. Soldier of Christ, hey, welcome. Great to have you here. So what intentionality matters, because it helps us to act with purpose in what we have to do. Now, personally, I entered a season of intentionality. So as I share with you, it's what I'm sharing, what I'm preaching to myself in many ways. I needed to focus my time, my energy on my calling, on my purpose. So I made these questions to myself. I asked myself, what are you doing with your life? What am I doing with my life? What are the areas that need to be more intentional? Coming out here in this life, creating a YouTube channel, start sharing. It's part of me being intentional. It is not easy to be up in bed before 5 in the morning and gather my thoughts and go through my notes, things I'm learning, and just being brave enough to share it with you. So that takes a bit of an intentionality to do that. I'm very thankful for those of you here with me. Nadia, hey, welcome. Thank you for coming. It's an interesting question. No, I have not been stabbed in the head by God's grace, no. So we need to be intentional. And think about social media, for example. So you may have thousands of followers, I don't. But if they don't share your values, your lifestyle, your purpose, you're not truly connecting them, right? Because you want to attract people that perhaps are engaging with your message. But perhaps the problem is not the people following you, it's the lack of clarity in your own message. So I have to be clear with my message. I have to be intentional with what I do. So, and using the platforms that I have, YouTube, a little bit in Instagram, to serve, to contribute, to share this positive message, the message of God, the message of wisdom, without just being posting things randomly, right? So, and this has been a learning journey to be purposeful in what I share and what I post on social media. Now, a person that is a great example and model of intentionality, it's Christ himself. So if you think about Jesus, he came when he worked 3 years. History tells us that he had a public life or public ministry, only 3 years. And with 3 years, he was able to accomplish what he accomplished, changing history, announcing the kingdom of God, teaching and demonstrating. He was very intentional recruiting 12 people to follow him. And from these 12 guys, 3 of them, he was very intentional to work closely with him. And if you read through the gospel, you can see he's intentional. We're going to go through that town. We're going to avoid this area. We're going to go here. 3 days to this. Then is the Passover. Then I'm going to go there. He had a plan. He was very intentional in what he had to do, including die on the cross and rise again. Very intentional. He was crystal clear about his purpose and his timing. You know, we can read sometimes, he said, my hour has not come yet. But then later he said, this is my hour. The Son of Man will be giving to the religious leaders and so on. So he was deliberate in his actions. If Christ was intentional, how much more should we live with purpose, making every moment of our lives count? Right, so think about it for today. How can we live intentional lives? Now, intentionality versus expectation, that's a very important thing, because intentionality is active. Expectations are often passive. We expect things from people, and people sometimes expect things from us. And sometimes these untold expectations, and we get frustrated. Why do we get frustrated? Because our expectations are not met, right? So we shouldn't create unrealistic expectations on people, or having unrealistic expectations of people, expecting that they will do something for us. But expectations can disappoint you, can disappoint me. But intentionality focus on what you choose to do. Then the power, it's on you. The choice is on you to do it with clarity and control. You have the control of the situation. Intentionality is not doing everything, because we can't do everything. We only have 24 hours a day. But it's prioritizing things. It's governing your time and resources. So if you govern your time and resources so that they align with where you're going, where you want to go, the things you want to achieve. It's like when you are intentional, you also let people know what you're doing, where you're going. Like when you're driving your car, you need to give signal before you turn it. Now, when I was taking my license, doing driving lessons, I remember the instructor telling me that you don't give signal just before you turn. You need to give it on time. Perhaps 6 cars, the space of 6 cars, you start signaling to the people behind you, where are you turning? You're turning left, you're turning right. So you're telling the drivers and the people on where you're going. So a little bit with your lifestyle, with your intention, let people know where you're going. Hey, this is my lifestyle. I get up early in the morning. I do my exercises. I have a mission to do. Come on, let's hang out, each day. Let's watch this series together on Netflix. Let's take this week and take 3 hours each evening to watch this series. And you tell them, sorry guys, this week I can't do it because I'm intentional. I'm writing my book. I'm working out. I'm developing this relationship. So that's being intentional. And to be intentional, we need to learn to say no. And sometimes say no to good things. Sometimes say no to people that we love. Sorry guys. Sorry, honey, I can't do it because I'm intentional. I'm on a mission to accomplish something. Right, so that's the part of intentionality. So the question to you today is, what is your intention? Where are you going? What is it that you want? Where is it that you want to arrive with your life? You can pick a specific area, spiritual area, your emotional, your health, your family, your finances. What are the areas that need to put energy, thoughts, focus. Recently, I've been thinking that I need to give more attention to my health. I started running 2 years ago and I lost quite a bit of weight, which was good. Ran a couple of marathons and I've done quite well, but I'm not there yet. Still don't feel fit. And then I recently talking to my coach. I asked, hey, I want to develop six pack. I want to be strong in muscles. You get closer to 50s, you start thinking about your health more than I was 25. And then he helps me to design, okay, this is the actions, this is what you do, this is the food you should avoid. Becoming intentional. It is a struggle because I have a sweet tooth. I enjoy my cakes, I enjoy sweet things, but areas that I need to battle and be intentional if I really want the six pack, if I really want to have to be fit and see the muscles developing in my body. Otherwise, it's just wishful thinking, right? No pain, no gain. Now, rising above the storm, just a thought to live with you in this area of intentionality. Life has seasons of storms and rain. We all go through difficulties and problems. But just like an airplane taking off through dark clouds. So if you're down here, you look up in the skies, everything is dark and it's rain. But if you're in an airplane, once you cross over, you cross those clouds, the sky is beautifully and it's blue and there is no storm. So the sun is always there shining. The blue sky is always there above the clouds. So living intentionally helps you to rise above the clouds, keeping you focused. Your focus will be clear in the sky and think about the brighter future that you have. Don't put your focus on the clouds, but knowing that there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel or throughout the tunnel, right? But we need to apply faith, we need to apply focus, and be intentional about that. Now, some practical activities you can do to live with purpose, and think about your priorities in each area of your life. Your spiritual, emotional, health, family. I shared my journey seeking or developing a healthy lifestyle. But think about your family, developing a deeper relationship with your kids or with your spouse, with your partner. Write them down. So your goals, your priorities, write them down. Get your journal. If you don't have a journal yet, that you write your thoughts, your ideas, you need to have that. The weakest pen is stronger than the stronger thoughts. If you just think, write it down, or write it on the phone. Write down your thoughts or the things, your to-do list. So it's very important. So ask yourself, am I being intentional here or am I being negligent? What are the areas the areas that you treasure? But are you being intentional there, or are you being negligent? Are you neglecting them? Are you neglecting this relationship? Are you neglecting this person? Are you neglecting your finances? Are you neglecting your, there's a Proverbs, I can't remember which one now, the number, but it's the negligent is a brother to the destroyer. So it's related to the destroyer. If you're negligent in something, you're really partnering with destruction. Because if you don't look after it, you will die. Alessandra, welcome. Good to see you here. Thank you for connecting. Welcome. Third thing is decide your next action in each area. What is it that you need to do in this area that you want to work on? What is it? Make a very clear plan or action plan to do that. And commit to live deliberately. So stop living on the autopilot. I mentioned earlier, sometimes we live in an autopilot day after day, week after week. We get up, we go to school, we go to work, we come back, we eat, we watch TV or Netflix also on, and we repeat that. So break out of the autopilot. Say, I do not live in autopilot, but I am intentional with my actions, with my thoughts, in my relationships. So commit to live deliberately. Hi, Mystery, welcome. Alessandra, let me just read your comment here. Oh, thank you, Alessandra. Great, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, this is the intention of the channel. I think I would love to see more people get on their phones and share positive message, share things that they've been reading and learning. I am just a normal guy learning and pushing myself through, and decide why not opening a channel and share some positivity, some good a good message, a message of hope to people. So today we're talking about intentionality. I have 5 minutes before I close, before it's 6 o'clock in the morning where I am. Now the link between intentionality and growth. John Maxwell, I really enjoy his books. He writes about leadership. There are many leadership books written by John Maxwell. You can see great videos on YouTube. He wrote the 15 laws of personal growth, and he says growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better. The only guarantee that tomorrow will be better if you grow today. If you're going to grow, you need to be intentional in your growth. So John Maxwell, he asks 2 questions. What are you doing to develop yourself? What are you doing today that actually pushing you to the next level? You can't give to others what you do not have. So growth is not automatic. You must have a plan of action. You must have a plan. And the second thing that John Maxwell says is, what are you doing to develop others? What are you doing to develop others? Because helping others grow is multiplying yourself, right? So when you help people to grow, when you share what you have, is this whole idea of overflow, right? You overflow, you put it out. You drink, you receive, you read, you learn things, but it comes to a moment that you need to overflow. You need to share with the world. Otherwise, you only have this brain obesity, this big head, you walking on the street with all this knowledge, all this experience. What about sharing that with the people around you? What about sharing that with the world? Come online with those ideas. Identifying your growth gaps. I'm about to close, but one of the biggest obstacles is the assumption gap. It's the belief that you will grow automatically, and that's not going to happen. And if you allow that, you're going to be disappointed, because growth requires deliberate, daily actions. You need to be deliberate. You need to be intentional. So, what is your plan? What is your game plan? What is your plan for intentional growth? You need to we could make a public commitment to grow. I'm going to grow in this area. When I start running, I made a commitment with my wife, with the people. I'm going to start running. I run a marathon. So what did I do? I registered. I pay a fee. This is the date. I have a few months to practice, and I made a public commitment and even a financial commitment. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but and I need to start practicing because in I think it was 15 weeks. In 15 weeks, I have a marathon, so I need to start running and developed a little schedule, and little by little, being committed to that date. And it was challenging. It wasn't easy, but make a public commitment. Identify 2 to 5 areas to develop. You know, one area I want to develop is my communication skills. How do I communicate? English is not my first language. How do I improve my English? So coming out here and share, it's a great opportunity because we can't speak publicly all the time, but you can speak in front of a camera and you are perhaps affecting or touching people with the message that you have. And if I continue to do that, in 2 years' time, I will be much better than today. So we just have to start. And the other area that I wanted to focus was my physical fitness. I shared with you working on my 6-pack with my coach, but it's not easy. It's tough. So why don't you invest 1 hour a day in your chosen area? You know, even on Sundays, to read, to study, to practice, to reflect, to write on your journey. Dedicate 1 hour perhaps weekly to reflect on your progress and share with others. Take people on a journey with you as you grow. Guys, intentionality is the difference between drifting and driving your life. So it brings focus, it brings clarity and purpose to your life. So take this message to your heart, become intentional with your life. I hope it's been meaningful to you. And God bless you. I hope to see you next week, possibly Monday. I'm back again with another word, another concept, another idea. Have a wonderful Saturday. May God bless you. Wherever you are in the world, in Asia, Africa, Europe, UK, US, South America. Be at peace. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.